Hello, everyone. Welcome to FREEWrite Friday. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jessica Lynn Johnson, and I am the founder of Soaring Solo Studios. Soaring Solo is a company that's dedicated to developing, coaching, directing, and producing one-person plays all around the world. And I work alongside Heather Dowling, who is also an award-winning solo theater performer, coach, and director. And we get to work with people all over the globe. So, a little bit of backstory about me. I have been in this field for over 20 years. I've directed and developed about 200 solo shows at this point and produced hundreds. It's my passion, obviously. And I've toured internationally with my two solo shows. And I'm a director and teaching artist for the LA Women's Theater Festival. If you haven't heard of the LA Women's Theater Festival, I'd strongly recommend checking them out. I'm also a blogger for NoHo Arts, which stands for the North Hollywood Arts District. So if you go to the NoHo Arts website and look up Soaring Solo, you'll find my Soaring Solo blog, where I give a bunch of tips on being a solo artist. So that's a little bit about me. I would love to hear from you. So please say hi in the chat. Let me know where geographically you are tuning in from and where you're at in your solo theater journey. I always love to just touch base like that with everyone. If you're watching this back on YouTube later, you can put it in the comments. So FREEWrite Friday is a little bit different than my free 90-minute classes that I do on Saturdays. This is really just a quick 20-minute experience where we jump in, I give you a writing prompt, gather together in community, do some creative expression, go over some solo theater announcements, and then we move on with our days. So that's kind of the format of FREEWrite Friday. Okay, so without much further ado, I'm going to get into our talking point of the day. So back in May, I went to a healing program. Some of you may have heard of it. It's called the Hoffman Process. It's in Canada. They have different locations, but the one that I went to was in Canada. Absolutely life-changing, amazing experience. And I really felt that a lot of the processes that they used in that healing facility were applicable to solo theater and to the work that we do as solo artists. And so one of the things that I wanted to point out today that they had us do is a daily exercise. And you can find out more about this particular exercise and everything that they do on their website. It's the hoffmaninstitute.org, hoffmaninstitute.org. I'll put this in the chat later. One of the things that they do is called the quadrinity check. And the quadrinity check is basically checking in with your body, well, checking in with four different aspects of self on a daily basis: the body, the intellect, the emotional self, and the spiritual self. And you just do a check-in. It's almost like meditation. You slow down, you check in with that aspect of self, and you ask it what it needs. You ask it what message it has. You pay attention to what it's experiencing, and you use that to inform your day. And so in today's writing exercise, I'm going to give us 2 minutes to write, to check in with each part of the self, and then to just write a quick message, a quick need, whatever it's wanting to express to you. We're going to write about that, and then I'll give you some takeaways after we do that. So just to give you an example, when I check in with my body, it's usually like, I would like to do yoga today. I really need some healthy food today. I need to go on a walk with the dog today. I need you to tell me that you have gratitude for me and the fact that I help you be mobile in this world and do things and those sorts of things. So that's an example of how I might bring voice to my body and the message that it has. Um, so we're just going to jump in. Don't overthink it. Just let yourself see what's there. So for the first one, we are going to check in with our body and write about our body for 2 minutes. So go ahead and jump in, ask your body what message it has, what it needs, what it wants to express, and write about that for 2 minutes. I'll let you know when your 2 minutes are up. Okay, great. Wrap up that message from your body. Next, I want you to ask your intellect. So the thinking, planning part of yourself. Ask it what message it has for you, what it needs, what it wants to express. Your intellect. You have 2 minutes. I'll let you know when that's up. Okay, go ahead and wrap up what your intellect wanted to communicate. Next, we're going to check in with our emotional self. Your emotional self. What does your emotional self need, want? What message does it have? What does it want to express? Okay, please wrap up the message from the emotional self. And last, we're going to check in with our spiritual self. Our spiritual self. What message, what expression, what needs does the spiritual self have for you today? Okay, great. Go ahead and wrap that up. So, just some takeaways to consider with this exercise. Again, it's called the quadrinity check, and it's through the Hoffman process. Um, let's see, if we're not checking in with our bodies as solo artists, then a lot of times we're disconnected from our body. And then in a solo show, that's going to mean we're stiff, or we're moving without purpose, or we're too frenetic because all of our nervous energy is coming through, or we're just not taking care of our vessel and what it needs to have the stamina to do a solo show. Our intellect, if we are too much in our intellect, then our scripts are going to lack emotional depth, and they're going to lack connection to our bodies. But the plus side of the intellect is it's the part that helps us structure, to find our dramatic question, to do our editing, to find discipline and schedule and meet deadlines and all the things. So the intellect is very important, but it can't be everything. Same thing with the emotional self. If we're too emotional in our solo shows, the audience, those are typically the shows where the people feel like they just saw therapy on stage and they didn't actually come to a play. So we don't want all emotion, but we do need our emotion to be there, so it's not just an interesting, well-written show that our intellect presented, but it actually has some emotional depth. But it can't be all emotion, or we won't have structure, and we won't have all the other things that we need. And then the spiritual aspect of it, in my opinion, is the thing that connects us to the higher vibrations, the interconnectedness with our audience, knowing it's when a line drops in that maybe wasn't scripted, that we just have the impulse and the intuition to say to our audience, and it ends up helping someone. Or it just gives us a purpose with our work that is higher than, just getting on stage and being seen and being heard. It is to help others and to forward a message, or to edutain and educate and all those things, and keep our work from being navel gazing and that sort of thing. So it can bring a lot of depth and purpose to our work. So those are some takeaways from that. And also, I would say it can be really helpful in terms of discovering characters, especially personifications. The brain, the intellect can be a character. What does it have to say to you that's different than the emotional part of yourself that might be a character? And how do those things complement, and how are they at war with one another? So those are just some examples. So hopefully that was helpful and got you thinking about how the whole self and the integration of self can really make for a solid solo show experience. If you look in the chat, you'll see that I put various announcements. So I will talk through these, and then I'll try to remember later today to just go ahead and email this to all of you so you have it. Because I don't think it's going to let you copy and paste, is what somebody's saying. So I can email these later. But quickly, the Art of Creating the One-Person Show, which is my 90-minute Saturday class that I do once a month. It's totally free. That is happening Saturday, December 20th, 10 a.m. Pacific, noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Just sign up on my website under free stuff, and you'll get the automated email with the Zoom link. If you're curious about working with me in a more professional capacity, I'm running a holiday special. It's only for the month of December. If we've never met one-on-one, we can book an initial consultation for an hour on Zoom for $49. Working with me one-on-one is usually $79 minimally. So if you want to email me about that, soringsoloartist@gmail.com. That's only for the holiday special for the month of December. Revealed is a virtual reading series that Heather and I produce, where we show a work in progress that a solo artist reads to a virtual audience. We co-produce it with you. You read your script, you get some wonderful feedback from the virtual audience to help you learn what's working, what's not working with your solo show before you go through all the trouble of mounting a solo show, producing it, and all those things. You want to make sure you have a solid script. So if you're interested in learning more about Revealed, you can email me about that. And also be sure to check out the special events link on the Soaring Solo Studios website, because you'll see we have a couple different Revealeds that are coming up in January. And actually I think I'm adding a couple more to the schedule. So I would say pop in, experience a Revealed. It's donation based, so you can just pay whatever you want to pay to attend, and you can experience a Revealed and be part of the virtual audience and see if it's a good fit for you. And then if you enjoyed today and you want to come back, we are always coming at the writing process of solo shows from very different angles. If you want to come back and see what we've got next time, the next one is happening on Friday, January 9th, 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. And if you ever miss Free Write Fridays or you want to go back and watch them, I have many, many Free Write Fridays on my YouTube channel. So you can just go to YouTube and look up Soaring Solo Studios and watch all the videos there. And yeah, on my YouTube channel, I have hundreds of videos of all different sorts around solo theater. And then quickly, I'll just roll through some festivals that are happening. In January in Los Angeles, it's called 30 Minutes or Less Fest. And Matthew Quinn is the primary producer on that. And he and I had just done a meeting the other day, and he said he is still looking for pieces. So if you wanted to experiment with a piece that's 30 minutes or less, or even just do an excerpt of a longer piece, that could be a good festival to do in the Los Angeles area. And you don't have to be in Los Angeles. You can travel in to be a part of it. And you can email me for the link to that, to the submission process, or I can introduce you to Matthew as well. So just reach out. The Binge Fringe Festival happens typically in the fall, taking submissions in the summer. That's at the Santa Monica Playhouse. That is a grant-funded festival. You're paid a small stipend to share your work, and it's free for all who attend. It's a wonderful festival. Cannot recommend it highly enough. The New York City Fringe Festival, which I believe has been renamed the Frigid Festival. A few clients who have done that and really enjoyed that. The Orlando Fringe Festival is wonderful. It's been around, I think, for over 30 years at this point. I've had a lot of clients with a great experience with that. United Solo in New York City is both in the spring and in the fall. It's the largest solo theater festival in the entire world. The Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is not just a solo festival, it's just, a festival of arts, is, I think, the largest art festival and performance festival in the world. There's the Philly Fringe, the Hollywood Fringe, the LA Women's Theater Festival, which I mentioned earlier. And then there's the Soaring Solo Star Series that Heather and I curate. And that typically happens in the fall or in the winter. And so we're doing our encores. We just finished a wonderful series in November, and we're doing the encore award winner performances in January. So if you go to my website, you'll see the full lineup of shows in that. And then once again, if you go to the NoHo Arts website and look up Soaring Solo, you'll find my blog, and there's dozens upon dozens of blogs with lots of free information for you wherever you're at in your solo theater journey. I also put the link to our webinars that we're doing called Solo Labs, and labs are the webinars that are taught by solo artists for solo artists. So if you have an idea for a lab, reach out to me. But we have so much exceptional talent in our community. And so just a couple of examples, Mary Basmajian, who's a very well-known Armenian comedian, and has a wonderful solo show, award-winning solo show. She is teaching a solo lab on December 13th, which is a Saturday at 10:30 Pacific, about social media mastery and having a sold-out show. Mary has sold out all of her shows. She's done her show many, many times in Los Angeles and in a fairly large theater, just continued to sell it out because she has a very large social media following, which she has really mastered how to use social media and her solo artistry very, very well together. And then Regina, my client Regina Douglas Whitman, is doing a solo lab on December 20th, also a Saturday at noon Pacific, which is about funding, branding, and winning awards as a solo artist. So she was really able to crowdfund successfully. She's very, very well planned out in her approach to solo theater. She's won many awards with her solo show, and it's in its infancy stages, and she's already performed many places, won awards, and like I said, got lots of funding to do her show. So she's really wonderful. She also infuses a lot of music, original music in her show, so it'd be great to pick her brain about that. Each of those are only $29. If you can't make it live, you can watch the replay later, just snag your ticket. So I think that's it. I think that's all the news. I was so glad to spend this time with you today. This will be going on YouTube later if you want to watch it back. And just thank you all for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.